important stuff. What is type 2A? Now I want to try to keep this as simple and clean as possible because it's way too much information for any of our clients. When diamonds are mined and come out of the ground, we have different types of diamonds. Now when I say types, you've got the 4 C's, color, clarity, carat, weight, and cut, yeah? But what they don't show you on a certificate all the time is the type of diamond. So you get type 1A, type 1B, type 2A, and type 2B, okay? Now, type 2A is the purest form of carbon known to man, okay? So I'm not focusing on the others, I'm focusing on type 2A. It is so rare that less than 1.83% of diamonds ever mined are type 2A. So what does pure mean? Like, I want to try and understand that if a customer looks at a IGR card and says, what is type 2A? So type 2A, when we look at diamonds, we use our traditional 10 times magnification, right? So I look at the stone through a 10 times glass and I see, it's a Si2, for argument's sake. Now I can see that inclusion, but the rest of the diamond looks clean and beautiful, right? Now if you take a microscope and you look 100 times into the stone, right? So now you can really see up close. What you're going to suddenly see is that there is a little bit of clouds in the background, or, like fog. Like deep in that stone with a microscope, there's actually more happening than I thought. There's a family of inclusions in there. Now, the way we grade diamonds is 10 times magnification because the human eye is not going to see in there anyway, right? But what that does is those little cloudy patches inside the mined diamond actually distorts the light performance if you really get technical. Is everyone on my page? Makes sense? Yeah? So, when you get type 2A, the stone doesn't even have nitrogen in it. It's got nothing. If there's an inclusion, like an Si2, you can take a microscope and you will see straight through that stone. There's no other impurities inside it. Does that make sense? If the most basic way of explaining type 2A is that it is so pure that through the strongest microscope, you're not going to see anything inside the stone except the inclusion, which could be a flawless, a VVS, a SR1, etc. Make sense? You all good with that? So what happens if your stone is so pure that there's no imperfections in it other than the one mark, or maybe no mark? Do you agree that you'll get better light performance? Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah? Your stone will sparkle more. Your stone will even look 1 or 2 shades whiter to the naked eye. Does that make sense? Okay, so here's the challenge. You know the crown jewels? You've got like the Koh-i-Noor and you've got the Cullinan diamond. You know those big diamonds that are like 500 carats, 300 only she has now? Those are type 2A. Okay? Now, Tim showed me, he sold a stone the other day. It was, I don't know, D flawless or something, and on the certificate it said type 2A. Now, I've sold maybe I've sold half a dozen in my life of type 2A, because clients have specifically asked for type 2A. Firstly, I struggled to find them. Secondly, when I did find them, I paid a large premium, maybe 20% more than the same diamond if it was not type 2A. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Every center stone in our rings will be a type 2A CVD lab-grown diamond. Now guys, I'm sorry. I just last night, it was late last night, I was listening to a podcast. Someone was doing a podcast on lab-grown diamonds. And they were asked a question. So, is a mined diamond better than a lab-grown diamond? And he answered as follows: no. Because a mined diamond, in 98.7% of the time, is only graded for the 4 C's. With our lab-grown, every center stone is a type 2A. It's even more rare. So, if I go back to how technology has changed our lives in every way, everything we do is technology, why should our industry be any different? And for the first time in my life, being a second generation diamantier, I felt like I was I don't know, I felt like I was offending my father when I started this journey, and now I feel like, why the hell should I dig a huge hole in the ground to get the diamond? Do you know what I'm saying? If I can get it from above the ground. But bear in mind, maybe if you ask my wife or this, or one of you guys, each person's going to have their own choice. You know what? Diamonds from the ground, to me, are like artifacts. They do have a rarity and a different side to them. So yes, there's damn huge attraction to them, agreed? But diamonds from above the ground, well, let's talk about the price of them and how that can make a difference in your lives and help you over-exceed your clients' expectations. Okay. So does anyone have questions on type 2A? That's quite a lot.
Could you explain then what is type A1 and B1? What's the difference? So I think that would be a question that could be asked.
Excellent. I'm going to get scientific. Do you mind? Forgive me.
But in easy terms.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Because I usually avoid this. Is this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to read these blocks because it summarizes it. So I said you get 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, and those are your types. Please, if I haven't answered this correctly, tell me. But I'm trying to also keep it simple. So 98% of all diamonds mined, the impurity is linked to a nitrogen atom. Okay, so this is the nitrogen is what creates your yellow color. So when you look at D, E, F, G, H, I, J, the colors of the alphabet, this is where the yellows come in. So when you look at 90% of our diamonds, do you all agree they part of that? Some chain stores, not you guys. I love your color of your stones; they're all white. But you go to other chain stores, what do you notice? Sometimes they're yellow. Because it makes sense. 98% of diamonds coming out of the ground are like that. So it's got more nitrogen. Okay. When you've got type 1B, and guys, I don't know if you can see it closely, but it's the atom structure of the stone. You see how when you bring nitrogen, it impacts the color of the stone and it changes the purity of the stone. They absorb green light in addition to blue. The intense darker yellow and brown colors come from type 1B. Yeah? So that's why you get different colors of diamonds. One more second. There was an important, here we go. Nitrogen atoms pair do not affect diamond's color. So with 1A it doesn't affect the diamond color. With 1B it does, and that's why you start getting vivid and canary yellows. Yeah? Now when we go to 2A, only carbon is the purest. There's now the atoms conflicting with the composition of that stone, the chemical composition. Make sense? It's usually colorless, highest thermal conductivity. Most CVD lab-grown diamonds are type 2A. Yep. And then finally is the 2B. The impurities has boron and significant impurities. A lot of your blues and your orange come from 1B, 2B. Does that make sense? I just want everyone to understand that it's not coincidence when a diamond's blue, when a diamond's green, when a diamond's yellow, and when it's pink. Make sense? Cool. Okay, so with respect to this being only carbon, your type 2A, this is a fact that you can repeat to your clients. The chemical composition and the molecular structure of your lab-grown diamonds is so identical to an earth mined diamond that no human on the planet or expert can tell them apart. Only sophisticated, expensive technology. Yeah? Make sense?